This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning. So, permissions, any issues, access control. No. So, forking and then pull request, not practiced. So when we can raise a pull request, and why do we raise a pull request? See the changes of sorry, conflict. So if you have a fork repository, and for the fork repository, you want to send a request, or you want to do the changes in the fork repository, then you raise a pull request and then accept the pull request. The pull request must be accepted by the owner of the repository, right? If you want to have all the changes you have done on fork repository, you want to have all the changes applicable on your actual repository, then we raise a pull request. Okay. Well, so now that's what we talk about today. In what cases we fork repositories, or in what examples we raise a pull request. Okay, we talk about that. So the actual logic, so how repositories are set up, and then we'll be talking about branches. Okay, well. So first, I have an organization, nothing but our project. That's my organization. So within the organization, first I'm creating a repository. I'm creating a repository. Now this repository, I call it production repository. That's my production repository. So what do you mean by production repository? Whenever you like to do deployments or continuous integration, you take the code from the production repository for the production purpose. Okay, so production repository is a different repository, and whenever you like to do deployments for the production level, you take the code from the production repository. If you have a production repository, nothing but you have non-production repositories, right? So you also have a non-production repository. Non-production repository. So non-production repositories for developers purpose. Developers, they push the code to the non-production repositories. So developers don't push the code to the production repository. Why? Because there is no guarantee that once developers push the code to the repository, there is no guarantee that that code is an ready to use code. So there might be some bugs in the code, or there might be some issues with the code, right? So that is not a perfect code. That is the reason. So we don't allow the developers to push the code to the production repository. But how do you create that non-production repository? Now this is my fork copy. So I fork it first. So that is forked. So once your repository is forked from production to non-production repository, that is a fork copy. We call it non-production repository. Then, so to the production repository. Now, so let's talk about developers. See, project is always It's an parallel development strategy. So what is a parallel development strategy? It's the same project, but there will be multiple developers or multiple development teams. They'll be designing the same project parallelly. Okay, so there will be multiple developers working on the same project. So for example, there's a team 1 and then team 2, and so let's say we have 2 development teams, but these 2 different development teams working on the same project. So in the same project, team 1 is working with some module and team 2 is working with some other module of the same application. That is what we call parallel development strategy. For example, if there is no parallel development strategy, then what is the drawback then? The time, right? Of course, the time takes a lot of time. So I want first module 1 to be designed, and then I would go with module 2 implementation. So it takes a lot of time. That's why it's always we follow parallel development strategy. If parallel development strategy is, if we are following the parallel development strategy, then developers push the code. But where the developers are going to push the code? Of course, we have non-production repository. Where is on non-production repository? Now, here we talk about branches. Now, so we have 2 branches. We have branch 1 and then branch 2. That's my branch 1. And then we have branch 2. Branch 1 and then branch 2. So branch 1 is for team 1. In team 1, your development team 1 will be pushing the code to the branch 1. And the team 2 will be pushing the code to the branch 2. Okay, since it is a parallel development strategy, I don't allow both teams to commit the code to the same branch. I don't allow them because sorry, the logic or the type of module and it is all different, right? So I don't allow them to commit the code to the same branch. We allow them to commit the code to the 2 different branches. Okay. Now, once the code has been committed by these 2 teams into their own branches, so what happens next? And there comes another branch. This is your branch which you are familiar with. That is your master branch. There we have a master branch. So those branches, branch 1, branch 2, so we call them feature branches, or you can say developers branches. And then apart from that, we also have another branch. What is that? Master branch. So we have a couple of feature branches and then 1 master branch. Fine. Now, for example, there is a team 1 and they have committed their code to the branch 1. The code has been pushed and same as team 2. Now developers have pushed the code to their respective branches, branch 1, branch 2. What comes after that? What happens after that? So the branch 1 code plus branch 2 code, I'm going to merge into the master branch. So initially I allowed the developers to commit the code to the feature branches, and from there we are merging the code to the master branch. Now the question is, why can't developers push the code to master branch itself? So if you have different teams, but anyway, finally I'm merging the code from feature branch to master branch, right? Conflict. Okay, that's one reason. Yeah, any other reasons? That's correct reason. Any other reasons?
Yeah, problems in branches.
Yeah, that is second reason. Good. So master is a copy of your remote. So you see that I have pulled that repository, right? On that production repository, on production repository, we have only master. We don't maintain any other branches. Okay, so that is a replica. Okay, fine, that's correct. That's the second reason. First reason was in order to avoid the conflicts. Second reason is since it's a core copy. Third reason, someone said something. What was that?
If they're rectifying with the branches.
Correct.
Integration of public.
So problems. Okay, let me explain. So hope the 2 points were clear. What was the first point? The first point was avoid the conflicts. So we can avoid a lot of conflicts with this concept. Okay, we know what exactly conflicts are. Then master. So when I forked it, so see in production branch we maintain only production repository we maintain only one branch, which is master. We don't maintain multiple branches on the production. But whereas, so since it's a fork copy, and whatever the changes you have in the production, non-production, we can have all the changes on the production. How? By raising a pull request. That's why we have that's master branch. Okay, fine. Then what are the advantages of these feature branches then? For example, there is a developer, these developers, they're pushing the code to the feature branches. What happens after developers push the code to the feature branches? Once developers push the code to the feature branches, and there comes, so here we talk about code review. Sorry, code review. So there is your code review. Okay. Now, what do you mean by code review? See, there is no guarantee that once developers they design the code, there is no guarantee that the code is the correct code. That is the reason the code review happens. Okay, code review or code quality takes place. And who's going to do the review and then code quality? It is done by the senior developers. So the senior developers, they set some coding standards. So if your code passes through those standards, your code is perfect code. And if the code is not according to the standards, the code will be rejected and again send it back to the developers. And developers again remodify the code and they push it to the feature branches. And again same thing, code review, so issues, and then this is a cycle. But once after the code is successfully reviewed, now let's say developer has remodified the code number of times and it has been reviewed. Now the code is according to the standards. And then comes code will be merged. Now the code is merged into the master branch. We call it code merge, or you can say branch merge, whatever you call it. Then we have merge code. So whenever the code is merged, and then so the code will be available in the master branch. So once the code is available in the master, that is, so the code which is already been reviewed, that's a finalized code. Am I clear? Good. After that, then I'm going to raise a pull request to the production branch or production repository. So what I'm raising a pull request. So whenever I raise a pull request on this repository side, I must accept the pull request. Like we know yesterday we have seen that raising a pull request and then accepting it. Once I raise my pull request, then on the production side, I can see all my changes which are done by the developers. Is it clear? Is the point clear? This is why I have forked my repository. If the repository was not forked, then can I raise a pull request? No. So Now, all these two repositories are maintained in the same organization. So this is a reason why we need multiple repositories within the organization. So you come across production repositories, also non-production repositories. So now your code is available on production repository, and after that there comes, this is Jenkins. Okay, what Jenkins does, CI and then CD. Now I'm going to deploy so my code to the production. So since I'm doing a deployment to the production, I take the code from the production repository, then I do the production deployment. Okay, then I'm doing I'm taking the code from for the non-production purpose. So for kind of testing purpose, then I would take the code from the non-production master branch. Or else, so if you like to take the code from the developers from the module wise, you can take the code from the feature branches. So what kind of code you want to deploy? You want to deploy that particular module, or you want to deploy the code of master? You can decide what branch code you want to deploy. So that is done through Jenkins. In Jenkins, we have a concept called, we can select our branches, we can select our repository as well. Then we can start deployment. Okay, so is the process clear? Is the logic clear? So basically, first you have organization, and then into the organization you have two repositories, production and then non-production repositories, but that is a 4th copy of your production. And then you go with, so create feature branches, and feature branches are for the developer's purpose. And after that, the code will be reviewed and then merged into the master branch. From there, we raise a pull request, and then Jenkins comes into the picture and start doing continuous integration, continuous deployment. Okay, this is how the whole process works. Did you get that idea now? Overall picture. Now, what we're going to do now, we're going to create branches. Okay, we're going to create branches, and plus we're going to create feature branches and master branch. Of course, we're going to create master branch as well. Then we'll be looking into how do we merge the code from feature branches to master branch. Once the code is been merged, then we know how to raise a pull request. You can raise a pull request. So now that is what we're going to concentrate now. How to create branches, different types of branches, feature branches and then master branch, plus how we merge the code into the master branch. And while merge, can we expect conflicts? We'll talk about that as well. We call them merge conflicts. Yesterday, when I was merging, pull request was raised. I was taking the pull request. So, and did anyone try that? Merge conflict while pull request? No one tried it? Try that. So that is one conflict. And also we have seen that the merge conflict also occurs for multiple developers. We have seen that scenario. And this is another scenario where also you can expect a conflict. Okay. So, yeah. Now, let's talk about branches. Now you understand the purpose of branches now? Yeah. Okay. Well, when you talk about branches, branches can be of 3 types, not 2 types. It is of 3 types. Master, feature branch. Feature branch means developers branches. Plus you also come across other type of branches which are orphan branches. Master branch, feature branch, and then orphan branch. So when do you create orphan branch? So we know the purpose of master branch. Also we know the purpose of feature branch. But what is the purpose of orphan branch? So we'll talk about that now. So first let's see how to create a repository. Sorry, how do we create these branches? Now go to Git bash. We're going to create a repository in a different way. So we follow different other steps. Let's see. So we're going to learn some new commands. So first, open a folder. I have some repositories. I can remove them all. I don't need them. Just remove them. Okay. Make a directory first. And the directory name is something like some directory. See, this is just a directory. My directory name is repo1 and open the repository. In this repository, let's run a command called git init. What git init does? Initializing an empty repository. So this has initialized an empty repository, and then we can see a file which is .git. Now, when do you see the .git directory? When we clone it, right? When you clone it, there you can see that .git directory. But if we clone it now, we have cloned an empty local repository. Right. Let me open that directory .git. So what do I see if I open that config file? Do I see the remote repository URL? Why? We haven't cloned it, right? We haven't cloned it. We have just initiated just a local repository. But I want to push my changes to remote repository. So whatever the changes I do on my local repository, I want to push my changes to the remote repository. How do you do that? Okay, let me do one thing. Let me create a remote repository. Right. So here I create a repository. I just name it something, some repository, test repo, some 61. Okay, that's my repository. Create it quickly and like to show you. So do you remember when we create a repository, we have these commands? We are going through these commands now. So this is also another way you can clone a repository. So rather than following all the steps, the best way is cloning. Okay. Now, what I've done first, initiated. Okay. Then this is like asking us to create a file, but I'm not creating a file. I just skip these steps. I skip that point as well. Straight away, I run this command. So what is that command? Let me run this. Git remote add origin and then repository URL. Right now, enter. What happened now? What happened? Repository URL is added in the config file. So you have remote repository URL added. So for my local repository, I have added my remote repository URL. That's it. And rest of the steps we are familiar, adding and then committing all these ones. Branches, we'll talk about that branch anyway. But now you want to create a file, you want to commit it, you can commit and push the files. That is what is the other commands. Well, now this is my repository. I can start pushing my changes to the remote repository on GitHub. Well, that is fine. But before that, let me run this command git branch. Git branch and then with -a. So what A stands for? A is for all branches. List all branches. What do you mean by all branches? Now instead of A, I go with R. Sorry, L. There's nothing called long list. So git branch hyphen a is for list all branches. L stands for local branches. What is local branches? Local repository branches. See, how do you create a branch? Just like you create a file. How do you create a file first? You add a file and then you commit file. Same thing. So first I create a branch on local repository and then we push it. Now you want to see all the local branches available, you can go with hyphen L. And if you like to go with hyphen R, what is R stands for? Remote. So this list, this is going to list us all the remote repository branches available on the remote. So A, L, R, all local. What is all means? Yes, local plus remote. But so do you see any list? No, right? There is no branch available so far. If there is no branch available, why it is showing us master?
That is default.
Yeah, it's a default branch, correct? But why it is not in the list? So when I list it, yeah, that is default branch, that is correct. So, but why it is not in the list? Before? Sorry. See, master is a default branch, that is correct, but that is not in the list. So that will be in the list only after it has at least one commit. So far we haven't done any commits yet. Since we haven't done any commits, so it is not in the list. Okay, now we're going to create a file and then commit the file, then that will be in the list. Okay, so create some file and then so git add dot and then git commit. Let's say so file 1 in master. Now it is committed and then we try with git branch hyphen L. Now we have master. Okay, so we can push this branch to remote. Is it available on the remote? So that will be available on the remote only when you push it, right? Now how to push it? Git push then origin master. So what is origin master? I'm pushing my changes to master branch. That is the meaning of origin branch. Origin master. If you have some other branches, then git push origin branch name. I have branch 2, branch 3, so on. So to which branches you want to push it? You can go with the branch name. Okay. So push it to master branch. Then the credentials. So that is being pushed. Now that's what you see. We have pushed the changes from local master to remote master. Okay. So that is the meaning of master to master. Okay. So what is the branch? It's a new branch. Yes, we can just check your repository, refresh. There is your master branch. Okay. Or else you can find out instead of going through GitHub, I can run that command git branch hyphen A or hyphen R. R stands for remote and then A stands for all. So when I go with R, shows remote. That is my remote. And you also have color representation. If you see any branches in red color, those are remote branches. And if you see any branches in green or black, those are local branches. But what's the difference? We'll see. So currently I have only one branch locally as well as remotely. Let's create another branch. Git branch and then branch name. So I'm creating branch 1. So this is how you create feature branches. What is the command to create a feature branch? Git branch, branch name. But how do you create a master branch? So did we create master branch? Master is a default branch. So we don't create master branch, it's a default branch. But so that will be in the list after you do your first commit. But how to create a feature branch? Git branch and then branch name. So there are different commands and to create branches. Master branch, there is no command. If you want to create a feature branch, that is a command. If you want to create orphan branch, there's a different command. Okay. So let's create a branch called branch 1. Now, while I was creating branch 1, what was my working branch? Master is a working branch. Now, git branch hyphen a, or a, go with a. So on remote, we have only master. On local, you have 2 branches. What are they? Branch 1, master. But why that master has start and then in green? Yes, that's our working branch. So since our working branch currently we are in master, that's why it has star and green. Now I want to switch to branch 1. How to switch? Checkout. Correct. So go with git checkout and then your branch name. Now I switch to branch 1. There is my branch 1. And then list branches, git branch hyphen a, sorry, git branch hyphen a. Now I can see branch 1 is green with star, since that is my current working branch. Okay, so well, there you can see. Okay, that's our working branch. Well, so now we are in working branch 1. Do I see any files in the branch 1? No, but there is a file. The file was from master. And do I see any logs? So I also see a log. So why is it so? So this log, where did we commit this? Which branch? Master. We committed that in master branch, right? Now, but why that is copied to branch 1? Since, where was that? So while I was creating branch 1, so what was the current working branch? Master. Since my current working branch was master, or we can call it master is the parent for branch 1. Since master is the parent for branch 1, the files are copied from parent to its sub branch, which is branch 1. Now, why it is happened? Why it is copied? See, just now I said. So master is the parent and branch 1 is the sub branch. The link has to be maintained between these two. How the link is maintained, how the relation is maintained using these commits. When the commits are copied or the logs are copied, the relation maintains between the master plus sub branches. So that is how you differentiate that. So these are related branches. But is it possible to create non-related branches or empty branch? Yes, that's what we call orphan branch. Okay, but there are limitations for orphan branch. We'll talk about that. But so this is how you create your feature branches. Feature branches must link with other existing branches. If they are not linked, then merge cannot be taken place. Okay, so that is why this logic is followed. So I want to merge my branch 1. Can I say branch 1 is a feature branch? Yes, branch 1 is a feature branch. So I can merge that branch with master branch because the relation is maintained. I'm creating an orphan branch. So there is no relation with any other branches. Then in that case, I mean, let's say master and feature master and orphan branch, they don't have any relation. It's an empty branch. Can we merge it? Okay, well, so we'll talk about that master branch and then orphan branch merging as well. But that is the basic idea why the locks are copied, why the relation is maintained. But now we are in branch one. We are in branch one. You can see that we are in branch one, or else you can see here as well. Then what's next? Let's create some files in branch one. Touch file one somewhere in branch one. I'm creating file one in branch one. And what is next step? Git add and then git commit. So let's say file one in branch one. Now I push it. Now, what is the command to push it? Git push origin branch one. But if you don't mention any branch name,
We are already in branch one.
let's say I'm not pushing. I mean, I haven't mentioned any branch name. Now, what is that? Mention the branch name. So we mention why we mention the branch name now. So since in the beginning, say I have pushed it to the master. Okay, right? So since while I was pushing that branch to the master remote repository, I have mentioned origin as master. But for master, you don't need to mention the branch name. But other than master branch, now we are in branch one. We are not in master branch. We are in branch one. Since we are in branch one, mention the branch name as origin branch name. But if that is in master, you don't need to mention the branch name. By default, it is master branch. Okay. So now go with git push origin is branch one. Now, if I'm in, let's say, my working branch is master. If my working branch is master, can I run this command git push branch origin branch one? Yes. Okay. Well, that's correct. Now go with username and then password. Now there is a new branch, which is branch one. Okay. So you can check that list. Now we have origin branch one. Now let me create second branch. Now I check out to master branch. Then I create my second branch, git branch, and then branch two. Okay. So what is my current working branch? Master. So I'm creating branch two. Now, is it mandatory to be in the master branch to create feature branches?
Yes.
No, that's not mandatory. So you can be in branch one, then you can create branch two. Right? You can be in branch two, then you can create branch three. Because the relation is still maintained. Okay. So this is not required. You must be in master to create feature branches. So that is what we're going to do in the third branch. I'm going to create branch 3 being in branch 2. Okay, we'll try that. Anyway, let's switch to, yeah.
So ఇప్పుడు మాస్టర్ బ్రాంచ్ లో ఉంది బ్రాంచ్ 1 క్రియేట్ చేస్తే మాస్టర్ 1 కాపీ వచ్చింది అలాగే బ్రాంచ్ 1 లో నుంచి కాపీ చేస్తే బ్రాంచ్ 1 లో ఉన్న కాపీ బ్రాంచ్ 2
Yeah, of course. So all the files are copied from your working branch to the new branch. Okay. So you are in branch 1, you are creating branch 2. You are in branch 2, you are creating branch 3. So from the current working branch, the files are copied to the new branch. Files plus logs, commits. Okay. Now check out to the branch 2. Then so git branch -a. There is your branch 2, and then the file copied from where? master. So see the logs as well. That is copied from the master. Okay. Then. So in branch 2, touch file 1 somewhere in branch 2. Then git add and then git commit. Let's say so file 1 in branch 2. And then so you want to push it. Let's say git push origin is branch 2. Username, password. So new branch created, and you can try this. Git branch -e. Okay. So there won't be too many questions on this how to create branches, but there will be questions on how to merge it. Okay. So those who are interested towards applying for junior positions, remember these commands, the branches. So for especially junior positions, and you can expect commands on this. Okay, but senior, you won't be having too many questions on these commands, but you have questions on the merge concepts. Okay, so file and then also logs. Yes, now there it is. So did we push it? Yes, we have pushed it. Yes. Now let's try with. I'm going to create branch 3, but my working branch is branch 2. So git branch and then branch 3. Now you just check out to, but do you want to list it? Okay, you can list it. So that is your third branch, and then git checkout to branch 3. And then so we have files copied from where? Branch 2. You can see the logs. So you can see that is from branch 2. This is from master branch. Okay. Well, see every time when I push it, so there is a message called git push and pushing to some URL, right? Let me show you that. Now, so firstly, we have logs plus we have files, right? I'm not doing any new commits in this branch. Can I push it? Origin, branch 2, can I push it? I mean, if I do this, so will it be creating your branch 2 on the remote? Yes.
Because already those 2 files.
It's up to date. Say those commits were already done, even they were already pushed. So you can see that now go with list git branch -a. Branch 3 is not created. Okay, so you might be able to see the branch locally, but if whenever you want to push it, see what do you push usually? The commits, the files. But do you have any files, new commits? No, so nothing is pushed. But now I create file 1 in third branch and then git add and then git commit. So file 1 in branch 3 and then git. So push, git push and then origin, which is third branch. So there is your new branch. Okay. So this is what I was saying. Every time we are pushing that, right? Now, pushing to that URL. So this URL we have added using a command called git remote add origin. We remember the command? What was that command? So remember that command. That is an important command. Okay. So git remote add origin and then your repository URL. So if I haven't run this command, let's say I have initiated my repository first. After that, I have created branches and I have done some commits. Then I'm pushing it. But I haven't run this command. If this command is not run, can I push it? No. So this is what remote add does. Remote add adds a URL to the repository, and then list all files. .git. Okay. So your configuration, and then you can see head is okay. We know the head actually. We know head is. So if you want to see what is your current working branch, you can see the head as in branch 3. So that is also other file we can identify. So what is the purpose of that head file? Then. So let's talk about now. Now, can we create orphan branches? Yes, we're going to create orphan branches. But before we create orphan branches, let's go with. Okay, we have some time. Let's try instead of creating orphan branches. We'll be creating orphan branches in tomorrow's session. Okay, since we have some time, let's talk about merge. Okay, now I'm going to merge. I'm going to merge the changes from all feature branches to master branch. Okay, I'm going to merge my changes from featured branches to master branch. So how the merge takes place? So what is merging? Yeah. So you want to add all the changes or integrate all the changes from one branch to another branch. So not only changes means, when I say changes means not only the files, including logs. Okay. Now, so try with git checkout to master first. Why master? Since I want to merge with master. So I want to merge with master. So be in the master first. Okay. And then go with git merge with branch 1. So since I want to merge my branch 1 with master, so be in master first, then you can merge with your required branch. So it is merged. So what is merged? Merged a file from branch 1, and you can see that file from branch 1 plus log. So that is your branch 1. So this is merged. Then let's talk about merging other branches. Git merge with branch 2. If I merge that branch 2 with master, is this merge is going to delete branch 1 changes from master? No, that is what is merging. It keeps existing changes as it is, and plus it is going to add new changes. So what does it mean? Say in master branch, I have file 1 from branch 1. Now I check out to the branch 2. Branch 2 we have also file 1. Master also have file 1, right? Okay. So here I have a new file in branch 2. So that change will be merged into the master now. If you have common changes, so those common changes won't be merged. It is going to merge only the changes which we don't have in that master branch. Okay, that is what is merging that. So git checkout to the master, and then so git merge with second branch. So what is that? So initially when I was merging with branch 1, there was no information like this. So what is that? This is, we call it merge log. So whenever you merge with first branch, there won't be any merge logs. But after you start merging with second branch onwards, or from your second merge, it is going to create merge logs. So save the log. You can modify that if you want. This is a text file. Okay. And then the file 1 from branch 2 is merged. Also the logs. Yes, log also from branch 2 is merged. In addition, it has created another log saying that we have merged branch 2. That is what is a merge log. So now I can see that, okay, I have done a merge on so and so time. So what is the purpose of this log? Only for information. So usually the purpose of commits or logs, what are the purpose? You can do version control, right? But with these logs or with these commits, so there is no purpose. It's only for idea purpose. Yes, I have done some merge so and so day, so and so time. You cannot do version control with this. Right. So that means there is no use of the logs. Well, let's merge with third branch. Again, merge log. So this is the message. Okay, this is just a message. You can modify that message. Let's say, I would say new merge with branch 3. I can change it. Okay, but the font is not so visible. Save it. Just save it. Now, so the file from branch 3 is also we have log new merge with branch 3. Yes, I can modify that. Okay, and there is your branch 3 log. Okay, well, try with, we switch to these branches again, feature branches, and then do some more changes. I will be creating some more files in these 3 branches. Will be merging again. Okay, so first touch file 1, sorry, let's say file 2 in branch 1. I'm just creating files, nothing else, and git add and then git commit. Let's say, so file 2 in branch 1. Okay, and do check out to the second branch, branch 2, and then let me clear the screen. We are in branch 2. I'm going to add a file, touch file 2 in branch 2, and then add, then commit. Let's say file 2 in branch 2. Now, so repeat same thing for third branch. Check out to branch 3. Yeah. So create a file again in third branch. You can create or delete. So touch. I create file 2 in branch 3, and then git add and then git commit. So file 2 in branch 3. But so we have new commits in and new changes in all 3 branches. Now let's merge with master. Let's merge. Now, so git merge with branch 1, commit log, and then so there is a file 2 from branch 1 plus log, that is our new log. And this time I'm not going to merge with branch 2 now. Instead, I'm going to merge with third branch. Git merge with branch 3. So that's merge log, and then so we have file from branch 3 plus log. That is our branch 3 log. Now I merge with the second branch. Let's merge with second branch, which is branch 2. Merge log. Then so file 2 from branch 2 plus the logs. Where is it? So there is your branch 2 log. Okay. Now we see that so we have merged so different branches so far. But assume that I have merged it number of times. I have merged about hundreds and thousands of times. Now, after some days, I want to see all my branch 1 logs, what I have merged so far. How do you see that? There is your branch 1 log, but where are the rest of the logs of branch 1? Somewhere here. Okay, now I can see that since we have only 2 logs for branch 1. But if you want to see all the logs of branch 1, I have merged so far. So are you going to scroll down one by one? No, that's not possible. Same thing with branch 2 and then branch 3. Now, can we say that these branch logs are not maintained in a sequence? What do you mean by sequence? I want to maintain these branch logs in all branch 1 logs at one place, then branch 2 logs, and then branch 3 logs. I want to maintain them in branch wise sequence. But is it possible now? So you have branch logs 1, 2, 3. Then again you have so something like 1, 2, 3. But I don't want to see this something like this. I want to see branch wise. Branch 1 logs, branch 2 logs, and then branch 3 logs. Is it possible? No, that's not possible with merge. Okay, so now so we have a concept called merge versus rebase. But we are not going to discuss the rebase concept today. We'll be discussing tomorrow. But so let's talk about the points of merge. Okay. So what is the first drawback? So branch logs are not maintained in a sequence. Not in a sequence. Okay, that's the first thing. And the second point, so every time when I merge it, so what are they? What are they? Merge logs. So it is creating so many merge logs, right? So for no use. So I don't want those logs. So no use of merge logs. But it is creating merge logs. But the third point. So orphan branches. We have not gone to that point yet. But anyway, let me mention the point. So I will be showing this practical example in tomorrow's session. But the point is, orphan branches cannot be merged. So if you have orphan branches, those orphan branches cannot be merged. So what is the purpose of orphan branches and where do we use these branches? We'll talk about that in tomorrow's session, but that is one point. So then what is the solution for this? I want to maintain my branch logs. I don't want any merge logs. I want to even do orphan branch merge. Then what is the solution is? It is. Yeah, you can merge. So you can merge with So one branch to another branch, any branch. So you can, if you want to merge one feature branch to another feature branch, that is also possible. Okay, but they must be related. Okay, so orphan branch cannot be merged with any other branches. So don't worry about that point. But so you can merge any branch with any other branch. That is possible. I want to merge branch 2 with branch 2 with branch 1, branch 3 with branch 2. Yes, that is possible. You can merge them. Okay. Well, so let's talk about this concept, rebase concept, tomorrow's session. But before we start it, we talk about orphan branches, and we'll try to find out can we merge them. After that, we'll go with rebase concept. Okay. So this is a very, very important question. Merge versus rebase. Okay. What are the differences? Well, so, and for today, you just try this first. So understand that logic first, how that logic is created, and then go with branches. Okay. So create master branch and then feature branches. Try to merge these branches. But initially, you initiate the repositories using git init command, and then you can go with git remote add. Okay, so try that. But anyways, it is all same. Even clone and then the step we have followed is all same steps. Okay. Any questions?
credentials commit చేసేటప్పుడు credentials
Yeah. You're not able to find the command. Anyone else? Someone has that issue, right? Permission issues. Able to find the command? You can't Google it. And I'll just try to find the command. Yeah. Any more questions? Okay. Thank you.